Only a few NAIA basketball games tonight, and then we're going to do something different. We're going to look at NAIA basketball through the eyes of a high school basketball coach. Rahim Tufts will join us, and Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Hey, we're going to start with milestones like we always do. Let's start with Jacob Dobney out of Dakota Wesleyan. He's a Tiger. 1,000 career points. Congratulations to Jacob Dobney. That's a great accomplishment. You'll be in the record books there at Dakota Wesleyan in perpetuity. Congratulations. Also, we want to congratulate Josh Gamblin. He was named the NAIA Coach of the Week by Hoop Dirt. Congratulations to Coach Gamblin, head coach at Mid-America Christian, MACU as they say. And thank you to Hoop Dirt for recognizing our coaches as well. Just a quick reminder that the new Top 25 will come out tomorrow. The RPI was posted today. I'll continue to put the link to the RPI in the description of the show if you ever need it. Well, let's jump right into it. Quite a few Southern States games tonight. Here's the score out of the Southern States. There's one game I got starred right here. Middle Georgia State defeated William Carey. That was a key win for Middle Georgia in the standings. We're going to go to the standings right now. Dalton State continues to lead that conference by 2 games. But you can see right here, Middle Georgia now has a lead over William Carey because of this win tonight. So they're getting a little tight there in that first 4 or 5. So Life, who's in second place, is going to be playing William Carey on Thursday. Middle Georgia, who is in 4th place, is going to play Tennessee Southern. I thought there was one more. I guess those are the 2. Those are 2 games on Thursday that could really move the standings. Florida Memorial in action tonight. They played a non-conference game against an NCCAA opponent, University of Fort Lauderdale. Florida Memorial won this game 81-67. Latavius Mitchell doing Latavius Mitchell type stuff, 13 points, 16 rebound, double-double. And Muhammad Diallo, 17 points, 7 rebounds. So Florida Memorial, they go to 16-4, and they're going to be at Warner on Wednesday. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to Rahim Tufts. I want to give you just a little background first. So I wanted to understand from coaches what they know about it. What does NAIA basketball mean to them at the high school level? I could have done this with probably hundreds of coaches across America. We forget that the young men that come into the NAIA, had one of their first, not their first mentors, but one of their key mentors was their high school coach. Rahim has sent several players to the NAIA level. He has 3 guys at Oregon Tech, including All-American Jamison Guerra, and then the starting post, Blake Jensen, and then a freshman, Jared Sucher. He's around the program a lot. That's how I got to know him. Like I said, I probably could have told this story through 100 or 200 different coaches' eyes, but Rahim was somebody that I know through my association with Oregon Tech. So we talk about Sherwood Bowmen basketball. That's where he's the head coach. That's a suburb of Portland, Oregon. 6A school. That's the biggest classification in Oregon. And then we're going to talk about, what he looks for, what he sees in a player that tells him who can go play at that level, what his opinion is of NAIA basketball, and what type of guys does he think can play that game. Let's just listen to Rahim Tufts, head boys coach at Sherwood, Oregon. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Rahim Tufts. He's the head boys basketball coach, Sherwood Bowmen out in Sherwood, Oregon. How you doing, Coach? Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, happy to be here. I'm doing great on a sunny Monday morning.
Yeah, a cold, sunny Monday morning, we might add.
Yeah, but it's dry.
Exactly. So, Coach, you and I were just talking. You're in your 15th year, somewhere in there, coaching high school basketball in the state of Oregon. You served 5 years, I think, or how many years were you at Scappoose, which is 4A?
Yeah, I was there 11 years, but I was the head coach for 5.
Head coach for
And
5.
then, yeah, and this is year 9 at Sherwood for me.
And just so people know, Sherwood is a 6A school, which is the highest classification in Oregon. And you guys are in an year after year after year. Sherwood is in the conversation, as they say. Right now, you're 12-4, 4-0 in league. Talk about your team this year, Coach.
Yeah, we're really excited about the group we have. We've got 7 seniors and a couple juniors and a sophomore, and guys are just playing their butts off, really defending at a high level. Maybe the best defensive team I've ever coached.
Wow.
And it helps when you got length, and we've got 3 guys 6'6" or above, a 6'5" wing, 6'3" point guard, and they've just really committed themselves to buying into defense. And then, as you know, when you're able to get stops and get deflections, you can get out and run and get some easy buckets in transition.
Yeah. So, you've been at Sherwood several years. Your school's growing quite the name as a feeder school to the Cascade Conference. You've got an All-American at Oregon Tech, Jameson Guerra, who was your point guard. Blake Jensen, who's turned into one of the best posts in the West Coast, is at Oregon Tech. And then Jared Sucher, who just graduated a couple years ago, he's getting significant time there. What does it mean to you? And then I know you got another guy playing at Linfield. Do you have other guys playing college basketball right now?
Yeah, we have one more. Matthew Verkamp is playing down at Cal Lutheran.
Okay.
And he's in his second year and getting heavy minutes, playing really well for them.
So when you put your teams together and you work with your guys, does it mean a lot to them that they know that this program sends a lot of guys on to the next level? Do they know that? Do they realize that?
They do, just because our guys are so involved in the program still.
Yeah.
Those guys, alums come back and work our youth camps in the summer. They support us. I made a couple different videos to show our guys of alums and former coaches wishing them good luck prior to the season and also before league started. So they know that the alums care about them and they know where they're at and they follow them. They follow their careers.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that they come back and give back, as they say. That means a lot, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. And they're role models while they're here, and they're role models when they're gone and they move on to their next chapter. And same with our current guys. Our current guys work our youth camps. They go to youth games. They are a part of something bigger than themselves and in the community as a whole.
And I know that I've seen you bring several guys to games. I know that Southridge does the same. A lot of Cleveland guys show up. When they come to watch an NAIA game, is it what they expect?
High schoolers are funny. They watch games on TV, and sometimes kids are like, "Man, D3, I'm above D3." And then we go to a D3 game, and we're like, "Oh wow, this is really good basketball."
Yeah.
And then we go to NAIA, and they are blown away at the level of basketball. And it's my favorite level to watch, honestly. The speed, the athleticism, and the skill set is top notch. And so I think guys are surprised a little bit of how fast the game is, how physical the game is, and how skilled everybody on the floor is.
Yeah. So just so people know, you played over at Pacific in Northwest League as a historic league. You did your graduate over there as well. When you were over there, their D3, what did you know about NAIA basketball?
Not very much, honestly. And I went to high school outside Seattle at Eastside Catholic.
Okay.
Played in the Metro League, guarded Jamal Crawford, and there was D1 guys almost every single night.
Yeah.
With Rainier Beach and O'Day and Seattle Prep. And there's only one NAIA up there, and that's Northwest College,
right,
as you know. And nobody really even knew about them because they're tucked away in an interesting little campus. And so I didn't know much about NAIA at all until we would play some NAIA schools in our non-conference schedule while I was at Pacific. But still, I didn't know very much about it until Parnell kind of started recruiting our guys. And I watched some Warner Pacific, and I just grew to love the conference. And obviously with 3 guys at OIT, now I follow it like crazy. I'm looking at scores every night and
Yeah.
watch online whenever I can if we don't have a game. And it's just a beautiful brand of basketball.
I want to talk more about that, but I think it's really cool when you and some of the other coaches bring the guys over to the Portland games, let them see that next level, what it's all about. Because as you said, you can't really get a feel for it unless you're in that gym. And you see as you said, the physicality and the speed. I think that's great. You're able to do that.
Oh, and kids love it. Last year we brought a few kids down to Bushnell. It worked out on a Saturday. It's always tricky with our
Yeah.
game schedule and practice schedule, and also my son's playing. So with his schedule, I would love to get to every single game if I could, but that's just not the reality of it.
Coach, I was watching a game earlier this year, and Oregon Tech was playing Linfield, and there were 4 Sherwood graduates on the court at the same time.
That was a special moment.
Yeah, if that is,
Mhm.
I thought that was a pretty cool moment.
It really was. And those guys are such amazing young men. So outside of basketball, getting to see them and in their element and playing the
Yeah.
game that they love and being such phenomenal teammates. But then all 4 on the floor at the same time, like I was blown away. Really, it was kind of an emotional moment.
So, Coach, what is it about your program that obviously does a very good job of preparing guys to get to the next level? What do you think that magic sauce is?
Well, we put a ton of time in the gym.
Yeah.
Like if you want to improve, you've got to put in the time. And so there's so many unseen hours that people just don't know about.
Right.
And it's morning workouts, it's summer workouts, it's in the weight room. It's a year-round deal. And so if you're a high school basketball coach, I don't think people realize how much time you put in. I mean, and time away from your own family
Yeah.
that we're committed to help these kids achieve their dreams. And it's on them. I'm not taking credit by any means, right? It's their dream and their hopes, and they work for it. But also, we want to provide an avenue for them to reach their goals. And so, if they want to be in the gym, we're going to do everything in our power as a staff to open the gym and then work them out, and so they can continue to improve during their 4-year career. And really, not their 4-year careers, like from 4th and 5th grade all the way through.
Right.
So we've got a ton of camps throughout the summer. We do spring skill clinics for youth. We do morning workouts all fall and all spring for our high school kids. I should probably invest in a cot. I could probably sleep in the gym a few nights a year.
Coach, it's more than the X and O's though, because I've dealt with a lot of your guys that graduated. Obviously, you know that, and there's something relational about them that is special from the minute they step on campus. They're good guys. They do the right thing. They're easy to get to know. They handle themselves unbelievably well. When a Sherwood guy is walking on campus, he's a good guy, if you know what I mean. There's something special that coming out of that program is what I'm trying to tell you.
I would agree. They're high character kids, and they've got great parents, great families, and they've learned that you got to earn it, I think, is another thing. Like, it's not going to be given to you. So when they step foot on campus, we have these conversations, and I stay in touch with all of our guys frequently. I'm like, hey, keep putting in the work, keep being the first guy off the bench to give high fives.
Right.
Because I watched that on the film. Jared Sucher wasn't getting a lot of minutes, but early on, but he was always the first guy. If there's a timeout or end of a quarter, or end of the half or whatever, he's running out and giving touches. And we stress that every single day here at Sherwood. And it's really cool to see that continue when they're in college, even when he's not getting very many minutes. So I feel like they're prepared to weather some storms and go through some adversity. And Jared, that hard work is paying off right now.
Let's go ahead and talk about these guys a little bit. Jamison Guerra is a guy who had a big name in high school, Oregon assist leader, just the heart and soul of your team while he was there. He's just really shined in college. It took him a couple years to catch up with the college game, but he's unbelievable at this point. He's so good.
Yeah, he's okay. Jamison's a special kid, and he ended up starting for us as a freshman. And simply from the fact that the seniors wanted to play with him because he was a pass-first point guard. And in open gyms, he was one of the guys that they were picking when we were picking teams, because he helped teams win. He's a winner. And he'll do anything on the court to help you win. Whether he needs to score 18 or he needs to score 8 and try to get 12 assists, whatever it is, he is team first always. And he's an incredible kid.
Yeah, he made an amazing pass Saturday night in the final seconds of that game against Eastern Oregon to find he was in amongst the big trees, and somehow he turned around and he threw a 27-foot pass out to Keegan Shivers for one of the biggest scores of the night. He just, like you say, he just seems to get it done.
He would make passes in high school that nobody else could make or nobody else saw. Like, he's just a step ahead. And the great point guards do that.
Yeah.
Right? The point guard I played with in college, his name was Aaron Graham. You'd be playing, all of a sudden the ball's in your hands. You're like, wait a minute, how did that ball get there? They just see it. Their mind is ahead of the defense, and Jameson is consistent with that.
And Blake Jensen has turned into one of the top post guys in the Cascade Conference. Unbelievably good young man. Just talk about him and his growth.
Well, the first and foremost, Blake is one of the highest motors that I've ever coached. And you see that day in and day out for OIT. Like, we show our bigs, like, hey, look how hard he runs the floor every single time on offense and on defense. Like, as soon as there's a rebound, he's gone. So he is, his work ethic in the classroom, his ability to be just a phenomenal teammate. And when he went to OIT, like, a couple of people were surprised that, you know, he was able to make it there. Some D3 coaches that were not even really kind of recruiting him. They're like, oh, wow, OIT wants him. I go, you guys missed. You guys are missing on this kid. He's going to blossom once he starts playing basketball year round, because he was a big time football player too.
Yeah.
And so when our basketball season would start, like with all of our football guys, it takes a little bit for them to kind of catch up to speed and get a ball in their hands and finish and all that stuff. I go, when he is playing year round, he is going to flourish. And because of his motor, because he's a team first dude as well, as you know. And so it's been fun to see him blossom. And it didn't come easy to him, right? He rode the bench for a while. He backed up Potts last year.
Right.
Or was that 2 years
ago?
2
years ago, yeah.
Yeah, time becomes blurred. But he's a special kid. And there was no doubt in my mind when he went down there that he was going to find a way on the floor.
Well, he's definitely done that. And then you mentioned Jared Sucher. He's a redshirt freshman. He's getting some big minutes. He's one of Oregon Tech's top defenders. Great young man. I think he grew 6 inches in the off season. But what a great kid. Talk about Jared Sucher.
He is, and I've known Jared since he was in 5th grade, or 6th grade, and he was coming to our morning workouts as a 6th grader, wow. Just an absolute gym rat. Loves the game, super coachable. He was a deadly shooter, in 6th grade, and he's just continued to work on his game. Yeah, he grew, about 5 or 6 inches, kind of around the COVID time, and so his body was adjusting in high school, and so he dealt with some injuries. Back injury and so forth. So he never really played a full season because he had some different injuries, and he had a really bad ankle sprain in high school too that sidelined him for a while. And so his career at Sherwood was not as bright as it could have been had he been fully healthy. But we knew, like, hey, he's going to get healthy. He's going to put on some weight. He's an incredible kid, great work ethic. Like, he was in the gym almost every morning throughout his 4-year high school career. Wow. Like, he just loves the game, loves to work, wants to get better. And like I mentioned earlier, he was at OIT. He was the first guy off the bench giving high fives. And he's a smiler. He's everybody loves Jared. He's got a great sense of humor. He's a great teammate. He just is, makes everything fun when he's around, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you've been doing this for a while. You've had quite a few guys go on to the next level. What are some of the things you start to see glimpses of in high school that makes you think this person could play at the next level?
Yeah, well, obviously you have to have some athleticism without a doubt. But is there that work ethic, right?
Yeah.
In practice, do me and our coaching staff, do we have to push you every day to work hard, or do we just get to coach you on little things? And if we just get to coach you, okay, you are ahead of a lot of your peers. So are you going to work hard? And then do you understand the game? And there's a lot of kids out there that train, they work with trainers, they can shoot, they can dribble, but can they play? Can they fill a role? Do you have a high IQ? Or are you a workout warrior? Right? And there are those kids that are workout warriors. Man,
Yeah.
they're great with trainers one-on-one. They're great against air when there's no defender. But then once you get in a game situation, it doesn't translate.
Right.
And so can you play within a system? Can you fill a role? Do you have a high IQ? Can you make the extra pass when you draw a crowd? I know these things kind of sound simple, but it's not simple, right? Because it's such a team game. Can you play within a system with five guys? And those things really stand out.
I'm around college athletes for obviously years watching them. And one thing that I always notice is they come in as freshmen and they're young. They don't want to talk to you. And then about this, after the summer, after their sophomore year, when they come back, they're like men. When they're junior, they come in and say, hold it. Where's that kid that was here a couple of years ago? This man walks in, when they go around 20 years old. Do you see that same metamorphosis sometime within the high school age?
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's a huge jump from junior to senior year. When you're
Okay.
a senior, you have a little bit more swagger. You're 17, 18 years old. Maybe you put on a little bit of muscle over the spring and summer. And also there's just more of a sense of urgency. All right, this is senior year. Like I can't wait around. And so that was me in high school. And my senior year, I just kind of took off. And I've seen that throughout my 20 years coaching high school is guys, the level of confidence grows. They put on a little bit of muscle and just that sense of urgency. Like I'm going to go right now. I'm going to get after it. I'm going to rebound every possession because I only have 25 games left in my career.
So recently, I think, a couple years ago, you've had Austin Flint, who was a guard at Oregon Tech, played under Danny Miles. You've had him as an assistant for the last few years. What does he bring to
No,
your pro?
this is his first year
Oh,
with us,
this is
actually.
his first year. Oh, I thought he's been
Yeah.
there. Okay, my mistake. But
He was at Wilsonville for a few years, and then he came
that's
over
right. He was
and
over at
joined us.
Wilsonville.
Yeah.
What does he bring to your program?
Oh, Austin just has this calm demeanor and sees the game like a point guard,
Yeah.
and just so good about teaching some of the details to our guys, and not just for point guards, but every player. And kids love him, right? Because he's genuine, he's sincere. He doesn't get too high or too low. He's just like the steady assistant coach that everybody would love to have in their program.
I want to go back to the Bowmen before I let you go. You guys are competitive year in, year out, but when you look at Oregon 6A, I mean, you got the PIL, there's some great programs around the state. What do the Bowmen have to do to compete and try to get deeper in the playoffs this season?
Yeah, we have so many good coaches around in the state, and so many good programs and so many good players. Like it is hard to win.
Yeah.
Like it is really, and OIT is like they have a storied program. It's not easy, and for us to keep moving the needle and move forward and make a longer playoff run, we've got to continue just to get better every single day. And we're not in a great league, so our rankings sometimes suffer from that. Jameson and Blake's senior year, we had to go to Jefferson in the
Yeah.
second round. They had 3 D1 guys on the floor because our ranking was poor, but we had won 21 games.
I remember that.
And so just we have to control what we can control, and then hope that we have a favorable matchup. Like we won a state title in Scappoose, but like to make a long playoff run, you got to be healthy. You have to have favorable matchups. You got to win like these small margins, whether it's based on out of bounds plays or 50-50 balls and all that. And also, you got to have a little bit of luck, like to be honest. And so there's so many factors that go into making a long run. I mean, Tom Johnson, good friend of mine at Barlow, like he's never won a state title. Like it is so hard to win. So many things have to go well. And so we can just prepare ourselves as best as possible and put ourselves in the conversation and put ourselves in the mix, and hopefully we're in a good position in the fourth quarter in every game, and see what happens.
But you're right. It is very, very, very hard to win. But you guys are always in the conversation. You guys are always. I think right now you're ranked 9th in the state, and you're producing great young men. So you're a winner already.
Oh, I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Yeah. So what you do for those young men, they'll never forget in their life. No matter what they end up going and do. So is it? Are you feeling good? Are you having fun at Sherwood?
I really am.
Yeah,
I'm having a blast. I get to coach my son's team too. We were in Seaside this weekend with his 6th grade team, and got home last night at like 10:15, and I was at our weight session this morning for our high school guys at 7:15. It's a great community, great families, and I feel lucky that I get to coach here. Honestly.
Yeah, it's a great place to be, isn't it? It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes talking about your guys that are in the NAIA, what it means to get them to the NAIA. I think it was a good, interesting conversation. I'd love to do it again sometime. Hopefully we can do that sometime. But thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was an honor that you asked.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get to see you at a game again soon. I know your schedule doesn't match up well with them, but it's always fun to see you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
That's Rahim Tufts. He's the head boys basketball coach, Sherwood basketball. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Hey, thanks a lot to Rahim Tufts. He's the head boys basketball coach at Sherwood. Also, thank you to the Sherwood Bowmen. Thank you, Rahim. I thought it was a really interesting conversation. You should let me know what you thought about that. Let's take a look at there's just a few other games. Pikeville was in action tonight. They beat Truett McConnell 96-69. Bradley Bunch, 29 points, 7 rebounds. And Keon Warwick's 24 points, 3 rebounds. Those two were really on fire tonight. They put Pikeville to 18-4. Pikeville's going to host Bryan on Saturday. Boy, that game's going to be hot. That is going to be a hot ticket. We'll show you here in the standings in a second. So here's the couple of games I already told you about. Pikeville, Kentucky Christian also won. So look at this. Bryan and Pikeville, half game apart, just separated by 1 game in the win column. CIU and then Johnson. So on Wednesday, Reinhardt will be at 4th place, Johnson. CIU 3rd place will be at St. Andrews. Oh, Bluefield is at Bryan. Okay, that's on Wednesday. That game between Bryan and Pikeville will be Saturday. These games are Wednesday. One game in the WAC conference. Lourdes defeated Clary 70-67. Close game. So Indiana Tech continues to have that 2-game lead, but now Lourdes and Cornerstone are tied for 2nd. So coming up on Wednesday, Cornerstone is going to be at Rochester. Lourdes is going to be at a surging Madonna. And Indiana Tech is going to be at Lawrence Tech. One more chance for the league to get Indiana Tech knocked off. Lawrence Tech is tough. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday in that league. That's what I have tonight. Hey, let me know what you think of the show. Let me know if you enjoyed listening to Coach Rahim Tufts. I enjoyed that conversation, kind of looking at NAIA basketball through a different prism. Just kind of a different view. But anyway, that's all I got, and we'll talk tomorrow. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.